All right. Just setting up my chat here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so this is gonna be a shorter stream, because it is 10 p.m. for me, and I still gotta do dishes, take my shower, and do some other stuff before I go to bed. So, I probably got an hour, maybe a little bit less. So, I would like to get this game set up with Pigpen. I'm having to think for a moment on the names of my frameworks because I've got there's Pigpen, there's Pignet, which is now ShobNet. So there's those three names, and I get them mixed up. Although Pignet's the easy one because it doesn't have. No, Pigpen's the easy one because it doesn't have net in it. Uh, You took Python computer science in your grade 11 class, but ended with a 54%. You're learning, but you can't comprehend the topics. What should you do? Um, I mean, to a degree, it can depend on your teacher because, like, if they're asking certain types of questions, like, it could be stuff that doesn't really, it's just not particularly indicative of what the field's actually like. But I mean, it could also be the case that it is, and there's a problem there. But I would try to, rather than using that as an indicator, like on its own, of whether or not you should pursue that interest, you should probably try to pursue it in your own time, try to use online resources to learn. Um, and see how you enjoy that and make some projects and stuff and see how you do with that. And if you still can't figure it out, then maybe there's something to think about there. But I feel like most people can pick up computer science, but or can pick up programming, but I think some people have a harder time than others, and it might take a while, and that may be a sign that maybe you should find something else that you like doing. But yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and start my time lapse back up, and this is gonna be an interesting stream because I am gonna be copying a buttload of stuff trying to get this set up right. I'm gonna be using Moonrabbit Collection to rip out my framework. The annoying thing is that because I fix bugs as I go, the latest version of my framework is always just whatever's in the latest game that used it. Except I modified it so much uh for Yanok that it's not really the same thing. There's a lot of hacks in there. So the clean version I can copy from his Moonrabbit collection. So for that, I gotta go in here. I know first thing I need is gonna be the level editor. So let's just drop this in here. And then from here, I can see what it needs. Well, actually, I think I can just do, let's make a scripts folder. And then I think I can just grab Pigpen like that. So there's Pigpen. It's got all the stuff in it. I believe the grass is outdated. So I'm going to actually go to, I think it's up to date in Yanok. There's a bug in it. Where is that code? I think this is it. Place the grass. So I just pulled it out of Yanok. And then, so I think, let's pull up the level editor here. What is this using? I think it's hard coded for a certain size. Oh no, wait, I think that's in the config. Hang on. So this is a little bit funky. So there's this thing. This is the thing that I need to use the editor. And this, no, wait, I'm gonna just open that up and over here. Nope, that's not where it is. It is here. So the tile size is 16 by 16. So it's actually bigger than Yanok, which is funny. Data images sprite sheets, that's correct. So once I run this, will it generate a bunch of files? No. Yes? No. Actually, so while I'm here, let's go ahead and write up the configs. for the different sprite sheets because if you're here before, I have like oversized tiles, so some of them need configurations in order to be rendered properly. Where did I put my Moon Rabbit collection again? Data, images, sprite sheets. I just need a reference here. So like here's grass. Scripts. This is probably the longest game name that I have. Wait, why am I in Pigpen? That's not what I need. I need to be over here. Spreadsheets. Okay, so here's grass. And I'm actually gonna open that over here this time. So here's the thing where I can specify what these offsets are. So this is what I'm looking at here. Here's the tile, 18 by 18, that's oversized by 2, so -2, -2. We want it on all the top tiles and all the left tiles. I believe this is correctly sized though. So you can actually figure out which tile has what ID just based on its location. So it's just the coordinates of the tile pretty much, but it goes it goes row first and then column. So I can do -2, -2, and we just go through here and set all these. What is that? What is 6? I don't know what 6 was for. Here, let me just pull this up and let's see. Ah, that's how I did it here. Do I need to do that? No, I don't think so. I might need to. Well, let me see. There's a config that handles the auto tiling. I think if I just tweak it, I can get it to work right without having to change the image. I'm gonna copy this one. Oh wait, no, the vertical ones don't. Wait. This is not right. Okay, hang on. I'm just double checking some stuff. Let's see. So this is what I'm looking at here. I'm just double checking this. So yeah, the second number is the y-axis. Gotta clear that up because it's actually that's where it's supposed to go. And over here, let's see. So that's 0. Hiccups. 0. And then I need to take this, and we're gonna have, this is now the left tile. So there's no vertical difference, I believe. I think I did that right. Where's my thing? I can check this. So like right here, this one should be 18 by 16, and this one's 16 by 18. So that's kind of what I was doing with there. But so these are all the configs just so I can handle that stuff. I believe, oh, the ramps are a separate sheet. I'm gonna copy that because just in case there was something that kind of depends on that being how that works. So we'll do this. And then this will become ramps. Okay. Now we name this to ramps. And I believe there's a config I've got to get here. Yep, this is what I need. So, oh, did I do it vertically instead of horizontally? Oh, that one's vertical. And did I do it in the opposite direction? No, I did it the same direction, I think. Yeah. So I can just like copy that. And then all I have to do is change this to 0 and 1. And that should do that part. Now, let me see the foliage. Okay. So this is the fun one. Remember, if you were here for the other stream, I cheated on this. This color is one value on blue off from this color. And the purpose of that is so that I can specify which ones are the leaves without it really looking different. I think, is this ascending or descending? Hang on. 60 to 81, yeah, this is ascending. So delete that. And we start with this one. And we got 163, 162, 154. Wait, no, it's ascending. So that's actually the last one. First one is this one. I don't have nearly as many colors to go through as I did in Moon Rabbit Collection, thankfully, because, well, it's a 4-color palette. How wonderful. I'm very curious how people are going to take this in the graphics ratings for the jam, because, I mean, I think it's arguably similar quality to the other stuff I do. It's just less colors. So it'll look less impressive, but I'm curious, yeah, how that'll pan out. All right. So those are the foliage colors. There's other tile configs I gotta do. Ooh, what's in the entities one? Is this, that's blank, yeah. This is, yes, that's that one, okay. So there's this config. This is the one I gotta mess with. I have to remember how this works. Oh, I have an auto tower for corners. So this is mapping to a tile based on which neighbors it has. Yep. So now I have to turn this into coordinates on the spray sheet. I think it like wraps in a specific way, so there's a quick way to figure this out. So it's like top left and it goes clockwise. Yeah, so these are the first 3 are gonna be the same, except it's gonna be x-axis. And then the next one's gonna be like 2, 1. Thankfully I did this like in order, which, yeah, so that makes things easier. 2, 2. 1, 2. 0, 2. 0, 1. And I think that should cover that. So I will not be using that. I think there was something in... Let me see. There was something in here, I think, that said how this was auto tile? No? No, never mind. No, it's in here. Aha, this is what it is. Oh, I had the corners. I had the corners in Moon Rabbit Collection. That's interesting. Well, I'm not doing corners today. I've got other things to worry about. So, literally just grass with the basic auto tile mapping. And then what else do we have here? I'm just looking. So I think the decor. Oh, no, so I say flags are empty if I want it to not have physics. That's why that's that way. There's a stone. Those are just blocks. So, and then like items. Yeah, so those are hooked in on the code. So I don't have to worry about that. So the decor, though, I do need to do that. I'll copy this. So the way this one will work is we got 3. I'm gonna go ahead and delete all this extra stuff. I don't need that. I'm gonna just make as many as I need. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and I just noticed a mistake in this map here. This would have turned out as an actual butterfly looking thing if I didn't fix this. All right. And All right, so now we just got to put in the coordinates. So this is going to be 1, 2, and then we go down 1 row. And we've got 2 items in this row. So this one's going to be 1, 1. And then the last row has 1 item in it. So that will give us, I think, all the configs that we need. I think it'll generate the files for the other ones, and I'll just leave them. What else? Why? Oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm just like skimming through this, making sure I got everything. That looks right. All right, let's see if the level editor works. Nope. What did it not? I didn't. I got a trailing comma somewhere in one of my. Which one is it? I can either change the code to figure out which one I messed up the trailing comma on, or I can just like look for it and try to spot it. So what happened, or it says expecting, which means that it probably needed it and I didn't put it. I think this one looks fine. Line 1, column 68. Not this one. Not that one. I mean, I don't think it's this one, but this goes to 68. Oh, no, what it is. I missed a bracket. There we go, it loaded. All right, so let's see how this looks. Let's see if it auto tiles. And it does auto tile. So that's what it looks like. And if I wanted to add a ramp, I just like do this. So that's what I need. I should. Then I got my like big tile and my normal tile and the darker one, and I have just seeing how this stuff looks. So I can like put the leaves over here. I do feel like I probably should have added more things I could have put there. Anyways, so here's like the upright light thingy. Here's the down one. And I can like do this thing where I place them at like random heights, so they kind of look quite different. So I can do that. I can also like go up. My scroll wheel's breaking on my mouse, which is annoying. Just it's like if I wanted, I can like put this in and like do something like that. And I also have my tree. So this is what I'm dealing with here. What is this one? Oh, so this is just like the spawn stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, this is what the game's gonna look like, I guess. I mean, it'll be more organized once I get to it, but I'm tempted to just put like on the bottom side of these things a black stroke, just so that when I stack them on top of each other, they're more clearly separated. But I don't know. I might do that like on Sunday or something. I'm gonna check chat real quick. How do I decide on on the game resolution? Yeah, well, that's the technique I was using for this game, Jim, and that's the easiest way. It's not. I think logically, your art direction should not be dictated by your whatever comes easiest for the player generally. For game jams, it's a convenient technique I use. Now I think I did use it for Yanok and I think most of my games, but I think I also designed the player with a rough idea of scale in mind. Um, so no, actually, wait, no, I forgot. There's a funny origin story with Yanok. It came from a canceled Blackthorn Prod collab, and um, well, the original artwork. Um, and I did the tiles first, I think. Maybe? I'm not 100% sure on that. I think I have a time lapse. It's in like a 30-second clip or something. Or no, I think it's a 2-minute clip. I should like post that like on my Discord or something because it's interesting. Um, but yeah, that never got released. Um, but anyways, yeah, I think I'm not sure what I started with on Yanok. Uh, how long is this stream? Probably an hour ish. What do you do if you hit a wall on a coding problem? You probably just need to take a break. I mean, taking a like if you haven't taken a break, taking a break's a decent option. Now, if you've been stuck on something for like a day or multiple days, then I mean, there's different techniques you can use. Usually, it's just like coming down to well, it depends on what you're dealing with. In my case, most of the things that I would get stuck on would be something where it's like more research dependent. So it's like something I'm interfacing with isn't working the way I expected. Um, but I think you may be talking more about like a logical issue in your code, like things like you maybe have a bug or something. Um, and for that, you use the rubber duck method, which you can probably Google. Uh, anyways, so what is the strategy here? Okay, so oh, you know what I forgot? That needs to be in my tile set. Grass. So I have the assets for it. I just don't have it in my sprite sheet. So I think, yeah, this is it. This is what I had for Moon Rabbit Collection. I'm just gonna like, is this also? No, Moon Rabbit Collection's 14 by 14. So this is actually a higher resolution than Moon Rabbit Collection, which is funny. Um, here, is this it? Yes, I think so. We'll just take this. The nice thing about this is I can open up pretty much any image and I'll probably have everything I need. Like all the um assets or all the colors from the palette that I would use. So I need this should be a 18 by 18 box to contain a 16 by 16 image. And then so this just needs to be like grass looking. Like it doesn't need to be accurate because this is I'm the I mean you guys too will see it, but this won't be in the final game. This only exists to help me place the grass. So this will be like a grass E is what I called it. I don't think there was a special label one. No, it's not. Okay. So all right, I think I have what I need now. The gameplay area is gonna be a box. The question part of the question is how big do I want it? Because you're gonna be kind of wandering around looking for things. Um, Probably don't want it to be too big, but I do want it to be that you're still moving, like the camera's moving around. Just so it doesn't. I don't know. It feels a lot lower effort to me if the whole game fits on one screen, even though that actually may be a better gameplay experience. I don't know. It's less immersive, is what I would say, but mechanically, it probably feels better. Maybe. I'm not sure about that actually, because if when you it's a different perspective because there's a difference between like the camera not moving at all or like you when it does move and the player is always at the center, so you only really have to look at one place. Um, So I don't know, it's just kind of like a different mode of play. How do I want to? I'm thinking about what layer I want to start on. I think I'll start on 5. Is this a good size? I'm not sure. I think Moon Rabbit Collection is definitely much bigger than this. Increase this a bit. 62 by 40 is the current size. So the idea is for it to just be kind of like a box, like boxed in. And that's how Moon Rabbit Collection is too, but so I'm just gonna like make it something that's kind of wavy here. I think this should be big enough. Then we just fill that, and then we can auto tile it. I'll probably put more detail on that later, but let's go down the layer. I'm gonna turn on the layer view here so I can see what I'm doing. We'll have like a little ledge there or something. Okay, so I do want there to be a fair bit of ground space here, so that the camera's not like hitting the ground too hard. Actually, I'm gonna increase the size again so that I can go a bit further down. This is gonna be a fairly vertical game because of the whole gravity mechanic. Right, and then here, I think I set this thing to run at like 60 FPS or something. I'm noticing some crunchiness. All right. Okay, so also on this layer, I need to go into the other side over here. So and then I'll do that. Actually, I'll make it steeper. All right. So that's going to be one of the walls. Then I'm going to do the middle here. Do I want it to be... I think I want it to be below, layer-wise. I have a thing that'll like optimize visually. It'll figure out what the optimum tile arrangement for performance is. It has some funny logic in there. Oh, that's not correct. And okay, so, and I could just go ahead and run the thing. Anyways, I'm gonna, do I want to add a ledge here? I feel like adding a ledge somewhere, that would be cool. Yeah, let's add one right here. And something I gotta keep in mind is that when the player flips the gravity upside down, they're gonna be walking on like this part. And then, so I'm gonna be smart about where I put these islands. So let's go ahead and I guess put one right here. It would be cool if the camera like rotated with the gravity changing, but I'm not gonna bother with that. The funny shaped island I just made there. No one's stopping me from making these shaped however I like. I will have to go and put more detail into these later. What if there's like a divider almost? And then I can like do something like this. We'll have a small little island right there. So you can just jump between them. I think put that there just so you can get a. I think this will connect. So yeah, if you're over here, the way you get up is through here, and I think I need some there. Boom, boom, long jump, but I'll put that there. And then, yeah, the NPCs are gonna be like bouncing around all over the place here. Anyway, so let's go up some layers and add more detail. So I can like go through here and like add stuff like this, and this will just like appear as more detail to the terrain. And just make the whole thing a lot more interesting to look at. All right. I think, yeah, this is the top layer, so I can just do that. Now, let me just quickly save that and make sure I don't lose all my progress. I've done that so many times. Like I'll like accidentally hit X or something and I haven't saved. Because there's nothing like that confirms, are you sure you want to do that? Just gone. Alright. Um like I think this is a funny looking shape, but why not? Just scribbling stuff onto here. Okay, I think we're getting close here. Save that. And that's looking pretty decent. Need some foliage, but that's the next step. Let's first of all place the core stuff, and then we can work everything else around that. So I'll put entities on layer 0. We will spawn the player. I think this is an appropriate spot. We'll spawn him right here. And then NPCs. So this is where the NPCs that are like bouncing around can spawn from. I think they'll just kind of pop in, like just grow into place. So they'll start as like 1 pixel and they'll grow into their full size and they'll be spinning around and bouncing and flailing. So I just have to pick some random spots around here. You're gonna have to use your gravity boot powers to get to them. I'm just like placing these randomly in reasonable locations for them to spawn at. Okay, that looks reasonable. Unfortunately, that means now whenever I look at this, I see the little guy just in the sky everywhere now. But yeah, okay, so we'll put this here. So this will be where you collect your stuff. I might have to put this off grid. So we're gonna put this off grid here. The placement's important. I think so. It actually needs to be behind. I don't think I'm gonna make the layer transfer. It'll probably just like become an entity on its own layer, but and then so the anvil, I intentionally want to put these in different locations. The idea is that you will want to buy upgrades. Oh, that's something I forgot about. I need like a shop thing. How do I want to do that? Maybe I'll just make like a chest looking thing that you use. So the chest you interact with, and maybe it'll like pop something up, and you can choose that stuff. But that's like the lowest priority. It's like the last thing I would do tomorrow because the game is playable without a shop. Um, so the highest priority is just to make it so that like, the inventory works. People are floating around. You can make your stuff and like sell them to the people. Um, so that's the important stuff. Um, so now I've got to get this stuff. I got to pick the locations to spawn all this stuff at. So it's gonna like spawn those little orbs, and you're probably gonna be using your abilities to get to them sometimes. Like if this one's gonna spawn some stuff right here, and you're gonna like invert it to fly up or something. Some of them are gonna be like hanging from the roof. You might be walking on that part. So I'm actually gonna get some of the roof ones in now. There's gonna be a lot of them. Actually, maybe I probably not gonna optimize the logic for these. They're probably all just gonna be handled at once, which means I probably shouldn't put too many. And it probably doesn't affect gameplay too much. The amount of them doesn't really matter because I can just adjust how often they spawn the fiber based on whatever I need. Um, so you will definitely at some points be walking on the roof. All right. Yeah, these will turn into plants that spawn fiber that you then use to make gravity shoes to sell to the people that are floating in the sky. This is probably the most absurd, like, level editing. Just the way it looks. It's probably going to be the most absurd out of anything I've made. It's just silly. All right. Um, so it's going to be pretty rare that these things spawn fiber because really you only need like 3 fiber to make the boots, which means that yeah, it's going to constantly switch up which ones have fiber. Or maybe what I'll do, what if, hmm, Maybe a lot of them will start with a fair bit. It's like they'll kind of spawn, and a bunch of them will just by default have a ton. But then, um, yeah, but they take a long time to replenish, which means that at a certain point, like when you're first starting off, you can collect all the extra fiber that's kind of like in this area. But once you're really getting going, you're gonna have to come up here and collect the fiber around here. And there's also gonna be a lot of people floating around up here that um, are gonna be closer together than the ones down here. So just the natural progression of the game. It naturally increases its difficulty, which is a good thing from a design standpoint. All right. I feel like I'm gonna just like miss a spot, and it'll be pretty obvious in the game. I don't want that to be too close to the stuff there. I think I got everything. Looks like I mean, I guess there's a couple things here. Let's put some upside down ones. Not sure about that. Let's do that. Okay. Oh, one more. One more. Save that. All right. So that's all the spawns for the plants that generate fiber. Now we can start decorating. And let's do the tree first, and then we can do the stones, because you don't want the stones to be under the tree. But yeah, so we'll do tree first, then stones, then we'll do like bushes, grass, and other stuff, like glowy stuff and whatnot. All right. So we'll put a tree right there. I think that just looks good. It's aesthetically pleasing. Actually, these need to be off grid, so we'll do it like that. I think that's, yeah, I did it right. Okay. Actually, so this should probably be like one of the bottom layers. So I'm actually going to go all the way to -10 for my layer on this one. So I can just put these trees all over the place pretty much. We're at 10:53. So I think like 11:15 I definitely need to be like done. So it might just be that I'm making this level, and then that's it for today. I am liking, I think I'm liking how this is turning out though. I'm like pleasantly surprised with how the four colors is turning out. So I'm going through and placing the ones that are full height first, and I'm gonna like use the tree as a bush in a few different places later. It's a little technique. I think I used that technique on Moon Rabbit Collection, where just like some of the trees are like bushes. So the trick is, if you like place it like this, suddenly you have a bush. That's just like sticking out of the wall. So and I can do like right here too. I can do that, and if I like, turns into that. So just some tricks I use just to make the game more visually varied without having to put much work into the assets. Now, not everything needs a tree, because I have other types of foliage to place. I'm going to make this one like kind of, you can kind of just barely see the roots on that one. And then let's stick a couple on the wall. We don't want it on the wall where we have other stuff growing though. We can add some stuff there just for some variance. And then I think this wall could use some. All right, so I'm liking that. Can maybe put some right there, and I think there's, I guess I want to put some right here. Cool. Like, let's put some right here too. There's a whole tree behind there. Probably spoils the spring one now, like once they see it. Yeah. Let's do I want to do grass or let's do grass because I'm running out of floor space here. And yep, grass. And then I'll do stones and then the final decor set. So we'll go up to like I'm trying to think. I think -5 is correct. I think I can actually just run it through some of the other stuff here. Because this grass is a lot shorter than it looks like in this tile here. I'm just like, yeah. All right. Now, I don't want every surface to be covered in grass. So, when did OBS disconnect? Come on. Is it back? Looks like it's back. What was that? What's it doing? Okay. Where was I? I will have to decorate some of the like higher layers here. So I've got like these higher layers. I could decorate them with grass, but I think I'll use some other techniques. I'll use like bushes and stuff. But let's go ahead and grab these. Oh, I also gotta do the ramps. Yeah, I need to do these. So here's what I'll do. Remove some of these and replace them with, where is it? I want to use ramps in like a few places just because ramps are nice. My scroll wheel doesn't want to work. There it goes. I've got a new mouse on its way. Oh, there's something there. I've got a new mouse on its way, but it got delayed by like the shipping got delayed over a month, I think. So I am gonna be mouseless for a decent amount of time here. Or well, I will be in need of a new mouse for a decent amount of time. That's a pretty tall ramp. Okay. Where is this one? There he is. I'm looking for anything I can I feel like the physics gets a little bit silly with ramps right there. I can't remember. I think I fixed that issue. Can I do this? See if this works. No, it doesn't. Okay, I will leave that. I didn't set up the auto tiling for it, so that will stay. So I put in just enough ramps so that the player knows that I at least put in that much effort. There's a decent ramp section right here, but it's mostly not ramped. All right, so let's do the blocks now. So these blocks are interesting. There's a couple ways to do them. So this is just like a giant column. Actually, I don't need this rightmost portion. That's good enough. No, I messed up. I think that was a big one. Big one goes here. Small one goes here. So this is just for some visual variance because there's a lot, or not, like it's very repetitive otherwise. I'm mostly using this just for like detailing, essentially. I'm not actually using this for any of the physics, I don't think. Just trying to make things look a little bit nicer. Mixing up my tiles here. Alrighty. Oh, my layers are messed up. Need to be on top. Alright. I'm getting sleepy. But I'm almost done with this map. Sometimes you just gotta walk in for like a couple minutes to get stuff done. Okay. This section's got some gaps in it, so I'll do that. And then we'll see. I think I'm almost there. I think I'm good. Is that sufficient detail? Maybe I need like that. I think I'm, let's go ahead and add like just a couple more here. All right. That looks all right to me. Oh no, there's another gap right here. If you look on my games, you might find just random gaps where I forgot to do some type of thing that I did everywhere else because I do not check super closely. All right, put like a couple, one right there, and two right there. I think that's good. I'm liking the way this is looking. So that just leaves with this section. So we do the shrubbery first. I don't think there's very many places left that this can even go. So it goes like one layer behind the grass is what I'm looking for. So I just put this wherever. This one will not be animated in any way. I only need like a couple of these. It's just here for a bit of extra variety and not super important. Um, let's see. One right there, right here. And then after this gets the tedious, we get to the tedious part. And then I also still need to decorate some of these higher level, well, higher layer details. Go there and there. And we could spawn one right next to the player. All right. There's a fair number of them there. I think that's good enough. All right. So now let's do lighting. Okay. So the way this is going to work, these are going to spawn lights. There's a hook on, I can pass all the tiles through where I can either keep the tile and just do something with this location, or I can just discard the tile and do something with it. So discarding is what it's going to be for these entities here. But then like for these lights, I'm going to keep the tile, but then add a light source. Yeah. So these are our light sources. Can I make them? I can make them grid aligned, and that'll actually get me them where I need them to be. This will only work for the upside down ones. So I'm just gonna place a bunch of these here. I'm gonna do the upside down ones first. Actually, I want to use them a little bit sparingly, because I would like there to be some dark areas. That would be cool. So not everywhere should be lit up. The player's gonna have like a small light source coming from them. And then yeah, other than that, what are they gonna look for? Oh, the fiber will create light, and that's actually one of the ways you'll be able to identify where the fiber is the idea. Although that lighting stuff is going to come on later, so that's going to be one of the last things I do, because you can also play the game without that. So that means I'm going to save that for potentially the chopping block. Something I might remove if needed. Okay. Now this one I can't cheat and just stick it on the grid, because otherwise it would be halfway on the ground. So I got to be a little bit smart about where I place it. I'm going to go above the grass, actually. I want it to be more visible. The player's going to be on the layer behind the grass. So they're going to be on negative 5.5 is going to be the player layer. Because I have to slip it in between. The layers are floats in terms of rendering, so I can go in between. Now in the tile map, I can't, which means that if I do a decimal of like 5.5, then that means nothing can be like on that layer and fight with the player. So I would like this section here to be fairly well lit. No, that's like right on top of something else. I want this spot to be well lit. This is important. And then this spot. That's the anvil. All right. I think I'm happy with that. So that leaves a fair bit of dark places. And now I can just place this vine all over the place, because I need more decor, clearly. I think that would be floating a little bit. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Finding spots for these is tricky because of the way the grid's lined up. I could just go off grid, but I don't got time for that. All right. There we go. So there's a fair number of vines hanging around. And then don't forget the fiber stuff's going to be growing off the walls anyways. So now that just leaves the sideways leaves. So I just got to put these in. Are these actually... Yo. I think this just happens to be the right thing so that I can actually place these like this, and this is perfectly fine. So this is going to be like one below it, lower. Actually, I'm going to put it behind the trees. I think it should be behind the trees. So I'll do like one side and then the other. I'm not gonna bother going. So I mentioned before, like I go off grid and do something like that. I'm not gonna do that too much, just because it's a little bit tedious. I just want to get the decor done here because it's already. I said I was gonna try to be done by 11:15, and I've got 3 minutes left on that. So I don't think that's happening, but I need to hurry up. So that is what I'm doing. This looks very lush, which I like. Can like put a bunch of them right here. All right. Hmm. Anywhere there's a spot, really. That's what's happening right now. That's not gonna be visible. All right. I think I'm almost there. All right. There we go. I think I did it. So last step is to hit some of these there's these things. I want to put some bushes on them. Here it is. We're putting bushes on them. I'm being lazy about the... Actually, I don't have to be lazy about the layering. I think I can... I think there's a layer in between. Yes, there is. So I can just go and do this. Now, what would be super trolly is if I put some fiber plants there so they showed up but you couldn't actually hit them. That would be funny. That would definitely hurt my ratings though. So pro tip, don't do that. Did I put any bushes anywhere that is not correct? I don't think so. I could even put some trees right here, I think. I think that's how that works. That's not the correct layer. This goes here. All right. What can I put there that would be interesting to look at? Maybe I should do a tree. Maybe just on the ground here, where there's actually space. Can do it like right there. Okay. I think that looks all right. Ooh, what's this? This one I can get away with doing that. Yeah. Check that out. All right. I did it. How big is the file? That is the question of the day. A quarter of a megabyte, a bit over a quarter of a megabyte. All right. Just as a sanity check, I will be very upset if this doesn't work. Save, close, open, import. There we go. Nice. Let me just back this up because technically I just noticed if I hit O there, I would have deleted it. So let's not do that. Let's call this map. That way I just don't lose it. I gotta be careful with this stuff. But yeah, so here's a map. All these guys in the sky are gonna disappear. The sky's gonna be a different color, it'll be lighter. And then there'll be just like stars and stuff. Yep, fair bit to do. But there's the map. I think that was one of the things on my list here on my to-do list. Implement game world. Well, I made the game world. I'll leave that there, or add world with movement. I'm gonna move that to Saturday because it shouldn't take too long, but I do need to go to bed. I don't want to mess up my sleep schedule, because I do have work next week. You always got to be careful about that. I'm gonna pause the time lapse and then I'll read chat for a little bit because I didn't really look too much during this stream. Is there a reason for my own map editor? It's because most other ones don't support oversized tiles. Yeah, and then there's sometimes random stuff I want that I can just specifically add. What's the theme? Gravity. Yep. Out of tiling is better. No, it's about the same. Actually, so other ones like was LDTK. That one I think it has like a graphical thing for setting up your auto tiling. Now I don't know where it compares on how powerful it is compared to mine. Mine's not like super powerful, but I think for the types of things I need to do, it covers everything. So I can look at any range of neighbors. I can look and I can like specify how it behaves for like if it's the same type of tile versus another type of tile. I can say if it's this type of tile, tile it this way, and so I can do all sorts of interesting things. So, but I think a lot of those features are in most level editors. Is out of time limit? Yeah. I made a level editor in my 6-hour course, so if you want to learn how that works, you can just watch that. You know, say someone mentioned a while ago that I just finished the art last time they were here. I didn't write any code. I don't think. Yeah, I didn't write any code yet. That's kind of how backwards my development procedures are compared to normal stuff. First, do all the artwork, then do all the level designs, and then go write the code. It's just that that's the most efficient thing for a game jam because otherwise you have to go back and tweak it. I might have to go back and tweak it a little bit, but you'd have to adjust a lot more stuff, and you'd have like multiple cycles you go through if you do it the normal way. Um, it's a lot more forgiving the normal way, and it's better for collaboration. But if you have a clear vision of what you're doing things in the order I'm doing it is fine. Like a clear vision where you know you're not going to have to change much with the like games design and stuff. Uh, There's already an entry. Yeah, that was Voxel. I don't know why he went fast. I know he has kids, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had a lot of stuff this weekend or something and just wanted to join and get something out there. So he might have done it in a couple hours. People do that. I mean, there's like the 1 hour game jam where it's the game jam where you make something in 1 hour. Uh, yes, I did make the level editor. Uh, did I make it for this game? No, it's general. It's part of my framework, Pigpen. I don't really use it for all my games, but yeah, a lot of them I do. I did use it for. Actually, I do have time. I can pull it up for Yanok. I'll show you what the Yanok level editor looks like. This is something that I've not shown anyone yet. Where is it? No, I think I gotta actually open Yanok. Where's Yanok? There it is. Where's the level editor? Here's the level editor. Here's the Yanok code, by the way. Why is the player defined here? What on earth? Why is the... I don't even... There's some like random hacks in here. I don't know why that's there. I think there's a reason. I do not remember. So let's just like pull up like the winter transition map. So this is like what the level editor looks like in Yanok. Now this is like all water and stuff later, but like, yeah, there's Daisy. I don't have as many like things that don't appear in the game. Like there's like a spawn point. Here's some things saying don't spawn random ground decor on these things. There's some particle spawners. Those are just invisible blockades. Here's where you drop into on the transition. So there's some random stuff. There's the exit right there. It's a little door. But yeah, so this is how I made my levels for Yanok. So it works for platformers and it works for top-down games. But yeah, so that's Yanok. Let me switch this back because as soon as I open this tomorrow, it'll just be on whatever my last project is, I think. Uh, any tips for starting game development? I mean, I have a video for like how, quote unquote, how to actually get into game development. So that's actually is that my most popular video? I think it's my most popular video now, isn't it? So you can go and watch that. I think I even mentioned game gems. So yeah, you can go check that out if you want a good idea of how to get started. But the art aspect, I also have a video about a programmer's guide to pixel art, so you can look at that one too if you're a little bit stuck on art. I mean, that's actually I think more color theory than anything else in that one. So a lot of it you just kind of have to build an intuition for. The best way, like the way I learned art, so actually it's not probably not the best way because I didn't really study it much. I like brute forced it by just drawing so much that I eventually got decent at it. Um, but well, and the main thing I did to help me improve was to literally just follow pixel artists on Twitter. So like I would like, and I mean I pretty much just use my following feed on Twitter, but um, if I go on my following feed, I look and there's a bunch of pixel art usually. So and I'll see like different styles and different things that I hadn't really thought about, like different like very minor techniques I could use, and I can go and replicate in my own stuff. And when you start mixing all those different things you've seen together in the way that you like, you kind of end up with your own style. Uh, do I get nervous when starting these Alakajam type things? Not really. Like, so I mentioned it before, but like for a bunch of things here, but there's a bunch of things in the game design here where I can cut it if I mess up my scheduling and I don't have enough time. I can cut a feature and the game will still be a decent game. Um, so there's a lot of like stretch stuff in here. I mean, this isn't really detailing it. I've got a lot of it in my head. But yeah, there's a lot of stretch stuff in there, so it's kind of low pressure. The base game's not that complicated. Go grab items off of some plants, go to some like workstation where you put them together in the boots, go walk over to the floating things that are bouncing around, and that increases your score basically. So that's the base game. So it's not that complicated, but I can expand on that a fair bit. The stretch thing is adding the shop, I guess. That's the main one or the big one. Um, yep. Do I think I would have time? I think you sent that in context of something, and I don't, since I'm not reading the stuff live really, and I'm just going back like later. I have no idea which thing that was in response to. Uh, or that might be in response to what I was just saying. If it is that, I'm not sure I'll have time for everything I'm thinking of. We'll see. It really depends on how productive I end up being tomorrow. But I did already like in that like hour and a half I was gone, I made all my food for the rest of the jam. So, and I ate just now, so I don't have to take that many breaks. I mean, I'll probably take breaks just to take breaks, but I won't be like forced into it to cook. Uh, so you can make games fast by doing game jams. Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of have to. Well, I mean, there are definitely longer term ones. There are ones that are like months long. Now you're not like cramming stuff in or jamming stuff in that case, but uh, there those jams exist. I have not done one. The longest I've done is 1 week, and I did not really have a good time. But that was more so because of how like the people that were in it than anything else. Um, uh, Usually I do 48-hour ones because also I mean I've got a job and I've got other commitments and stuff. So you're if you do anything longer than a weekend, you're competing against people who can actually spend the entire week. Um, Whereas in this case, while I usually go to church on Sundays, even during game jams, so I'll miss like Sunday morning pretty much on every single one, even like a lot of the ones where I've won medals and stuff. Um, but like even for like Moon Rabbit Collection, where I got the graphics medal and Ludum Dare, but um, so that's the only like kind of uh block of time that I don't have that other people get when it's just the weekends, which isn't a huge difference. It's just a few hours. Um, so aside from that, I get like the whole like I get pretty much the same amount of time as everyone else. And actually, I don't cut into my sleep either, so I guess there's that too. But I feel like if you there to me, there's an argument for cutting into your sleep on the last day. With the way the Alakajam's set up, it's like it ends at 3 p.m. my time, so you can't really do that. But now let's say it ended at 3 a.m. for you. Um, you could be at an advantage by cutting into your sleep on the last day, so that you don't have to deal with being sleepy, except for the during the extra time that you're getting from just staying up. But if you were to like if I were to right now stay up really late and then like be sleepy tomorrow, and it's not worth it. I would get less done, even though I would be working on it for longer. Anyways, how many times have I had to rewrite AI code from scratch? I mean, most of my games don't have very complicated AI. I don't I don't know why I would have to rewrite it. So, there's some like decently Like there's some rules in like the stuff in Yanok, for example, for the mini bosses, but nothing too complicated. I don't think I've really ever had to rewrite that stuff. Now, if you're saying just write it from scratch, I mean that's pretty much every case. I just don't have to rewrite it much. Do I use the debugger if I get stuck writing code? No. I just used print. Um, yeah. I I think I haven't looked. I really not have not looked into it. I don't even really know how to use the debugger for Python. I know it exists, but I've not really used it. I've like accidentally used it in VS Code where you can like after you kill it, you can go check the state of certain variables. Um, and I think I've done that like maybe once or twice, but normally I'll just print it out. And yeah, normally most of the bugs I encounter in game dev, I can immediately figure out what the problematic code was without even having to go and put in any debug code. Uh, so I think if you watch my streams like tomorrow, that tomorrow's gonna be a lot of the gameplay stuff. You'll probably see that I don't really have to go and put in a bunch of print statements very often when something doesn't behave the way I originally intended. Normally, I just like I can figure out what went wrong. Although games are a bit different because there's a lot of stuff on this screen that gives you a lot of information as to what's happening under the hood, so you can kind of debug it just by looking at it. Now, for other things, it can be a little bit more complicated, but yeah, especially in jams, though, there's not that many layers of complexity, so what you see is kind of what you get. I'm gonna give you a tip for socket programming, multiplayer stuff. I might make a tutorial about that at some point, or just like sockets, and then a separate one for my networking framework. But I mean, just learn the basics of how sockets work. It's just sending data, like just sending binary data between computers, send it and receive it. And you just take that basic concept and you can just build everything on top of that. Now, there's some like potential things you have to deal with. So, like, what if something gets corrupted or lost? That's what certain protocols like TCP are for. But uh, the, there's a possibility like something comes in late, and you have to deal with all sorts of like timing stuff as well. But I mean, the fundamental concept is super simple. Anyways, so it is 11:30. I need to be asleep in like an hour to an hour and a half. I'll see you guys maybe 10 a.m. ish tomorrow, which is 10 and a half hours from now. So yeah, I'll go ahead and end the stream here. I'll see you guys then. Bye.